What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of OneMindSyndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40k. So today we are going over an excerpt from the novel The Beheading that pits two warriors of the Imperium head to head that are at the pinnacle of martial prowess. We have the Space Marines taking on the Eversor assassins. Now, I don't know about you guys, but obviously we all know that Space Marines are at the top of the top. They're the angels of death. They're pretty well rounded and overall just brutes that get the job done. While on the other hand, Eversor assassins are fast, they're nimble, they're cunning, and they're only meant for one thing and one thing only: death. So these guys going head to head is going to be pretty interesting. I've got a few other instances of Space Marines versus Assassins in the lore, so I'll be sure to link them at the end of the video so you guys can check them out. But for now, let's see how this massive battle between two awesome warriors of death goes in this excerpt from The Beheading. It is too late. You have failed in your ambition as you have failed your emperor, says Thane. It is time for you to step down, Vangarich. Come and face judgment. You shall be tried by the new High Lords of Terra. Justice served shall be a warning to those all who think themselves mightier than the Emperor's will. Vangarich stood and laughed, clapping in delight. 150 bolt gun slides were racked back. What a marvelous speech, he said. But no, I must decline, he said. You see, he impishly continues, you are making a terrible mistake. I made a mistake 100 years ago, said Thane. I should have heeded your suggestion and let Veritas lead the Senatorum. And now you're making another mistake, said Vangarich. His eyes gleamed with incipient madness. And it will be your last. A klaxon blared its rising falling song. Blinking lights shone in the alcoves along the temple walls. 100 capsules rose from the floor into them, rotating amber lights on their tops. They locked into place with loud thunks. Swirling gas filled each, lit with blue night. Inside, there were distinct forms of human bodies clad in tight-fitting sin-skin. In an asynchronous cacophony, the gas vented from the capsules. This is Temple Eversor, said Vangarich. Allow me to introduce its acolytes. The Space Marines opened fire, shooting at the capsules. But these were capsules made of centimeters thick armor glass, and though they cracked and fractured, they did not break. One by one, the shapes inside came alive, twitching gauntlets raking against their prisons. The doors opened, releasing more methane fumes into the room. Water vapor condensed in the chilled air, cloaking everything with a dense, freezing fog. The warriors around Thane disappeared into coils of white. Thane activated false-colored heat vision. He saw his men. The Eversors were as cold as the gas they were in, and he did not see them coming. Bolt guns went off all around him. Somewhere he heard Vangarich's insane laughter. The fight that followed was one of the hardest of Thane's life. Black-suited killers reared up in the mists, moving all too fast for him to easily hit. The shouts of battle brothers rang in his helmet. Space Marines came into sight, only to be cut down by the flashing finger blades of the Eversor's crazed killers. Fall back to the door, ordered Thane. Defensive cordon. His dwindling men formed up around the entrance, back to back, bolt guns blazing. A handful of Eversors got behind them, causing great losses before they were cut down. Black skull-maxed assassins darted in and out of view, clawing men down in their turn. The assassins died messily, blasted apart by mass reactives, or detonated by uncontrollable biofeedback when their heart stopped. Such was the force of their explosions that Space Marines went down, battleplate holed by fragments of hypervelocity bone shards and armor. Keep them back, yelled Thane. Keep them back. Executioner pistols fired, loud brazen bolt guns one moment, silent toxic needlers the next. The Eversors pressed nearer. Fighting became close and desperate, and the firing discipline of the Adeptus Astartes collapsed. The group disintegrated into individuals fighting for their lives in melee. At close quarters, Vangarich's killers excelled. The warriors fighting at his side became fewer, going from 100 to 75 to 50 to 20 to a mere 10. And yet Thane battled on, his power sword, the flaring dividing line between his life and death, going all over the place. He parried, he cut, but his blows cleaved only the mist. The assassins were faster than the wind, near impossible to hit. They fought in a frenzy that appeared at first to lack control, but after time, Thane discerned a pattern in their combat, and was awed by their skill. His actions became reflexive, time blurred. Only rarely had Thane fought so hard. As a space marine, he regarded himself as the pinnacle of transhuman archetype. The Eversors, though unstable mentally and physically, challenged that belief. Thane fought with a dancing monster with a blue's head for a face. He kept leaping around, howling like an animal. After minutes of dueling, Thane finally spotted a weakness in its attacks and brought his sword up, hilt first, swinging the point through the Eversor's stomach and gutting it. Before it died, it slashed down with its neural gauntlet. Monomolecular blades sliced through ceramite and plasteel, biting into Thane's flesh. Toxins surged from micropores all on the blade, pumping into the chapter master's body. He roared in agony. He had never felt such pain. He stumbled and fell to his knees, paralyzed by the poison. Finally, when his body had purged the toxin sufficiently for him to move, he looked up, his eyes streaming with tears. But the mist was clearing. He heard a final round of gunfire, a scream, and the clash of power armor falling to the floor. A dark shadow fell across Thane's face, and Eversor stood over him, ready to deliver the final blow. "Halt," called Vangarich. He walked through the last dispensing tendrils of mist. "You have lost, Chapter Master Thane. It is your life that is forfeit." "No," said the Eversor, and stood back, trembling with the effort of disobeying its programming. The killer pulled its skull mask from its face. Yanking cables from its head, it cast the mask aside. Most of the flesh of the face beneath had been peeled away, replaced with close-fitting augmented devices. Elsewhere, there was naught but shining, polished bone inscribed with devotional text. But there was just enough of features left for Thane to recognize him. "Cruel? Is that you?" Through a mutated mouth, Cruel managed to speak. "My name is Esau Dwyer," he said. He stood aside, leaving Thane a clear shot at Vangarich. Thane raised his bolt pistol, and Vangarich's eyes widened. He held up his hands. "Wait, did you ever hear the story of the end of Conrad Curse?" "No more stories, Draken," said Thane, and ended Vangarich's life with a bolter shell. Swaying, feeling nauseous from the residue of the poison in his blood, Maximus Thane stood up. He gripped his wounded arm. He was alone amid a carpet of broken bodies, Space Marine and assassins alike. He called out for survivors, but no voice answered. Relief flooded when he voxed that the Thunderhawks were well outside. "Send the apothecaries. They have a harvest of sorrow ahead of them," he said. He turned away from Vangarich's broken corpse. Too weary to raise his sword, he dragged it across the ground as he walked unsteadily back towards the stairs in the daylight beyond. Of the assassin, Esad Wire, there was no trace. And there you have it, guys. A pretty awesome battle between, what was it, like 150 Space Marines and a shit ton of assassins. And at the end of the day, they took each other out. There's only, one left standing. The Thane, which was the chapter master, and the named assassin, Eversor assassin. That's all that was left. That's pretty crazy to see just how powerful assassins can be, taking out Space Marines with ease, whether it's through their very wiry bodies and the ability to just poison them to the point where they fall immobile. That's some pretty strong poisons, considering that Space Marines biology is meant to handle toxins and poisons. So that just goes to show you that the assassination temples of the Imperium are no joke. I mean, there was an assassination attempt on Horus. It didn't go well, but to know that, yeah, my assassins can take out a Primarch, that just goes to show you that, the assassins are a force within the Imperium that cannot be overlooked. Because time and time again, we think, oh, the Imperium has the Space Marines. There's nothing stronger than the Space Marines. Well, if you just need a certain person dead, send an assassin instead of a whole chapter of Space Marines. But yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. Let me know your thought on this excerpt from The Beheading. And if you want more lore on assassins versus Space Marines, like I said, I got you covered with videos at the end of this one. And yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for commenting, and as always, I'll be seeing you in the next one. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of OneMindSyndicate, and I'll catch you then.